Hello and welcome to my game collection part 2. This time we have the N64. Last time we had the Super Nintendo. I never owned an NES, a Nintendo Entertainment System. It's basically the first console Nintendo ever made. But I forgot something last time and I want to include this for a brief moment because I find it kind of interesting and actually meets up very good with what we're going on to. I didn't show the controller of the Super Nintendo last time. I mean, who knows, this console knows this, but for the time being this was an innovation because the Sega console at the time, the Master System or Mega Drive, had controllers. The Master System controller was similar to the NES controller. To the first one, it had two buttons, A and B, and no top buttons here, no shoulder pads, and just a start button and a pause button, I think. And it had the cross. This one was revolutionary for the time because it had four buttons, shoulder pads, start and select, and yeah, still a sticker from my childhood. I like Pokemon, so yeah. But why I'm showing this? Actually, because of this controller. I liked it a lot at the time. At first you see this and like, what the hell is this? How do you play it? Because it has like 1, 2, 3. It depends on the game. Sometimes you hold it like this, sometimes you hold it more like this. Depends on what you need, or you switch in between. Depends on the complexity of the game itself. You have the C buttons for menu purposes mostly. You have a start button. You have no select button anymore. You have A and B, so they slimmed that down but added this. You have the shoulder pads still, and you have a Z button below here. And also you have an open slot where Nintendo gave us one of the first rumble packs, so you can slot that in. Takes batteries, 2 of a kind, 2 AAAs I think. And we have an analog stick, which this is the weakest point of this controller. I said that in the last video, I think. We played like, if you played like Mario Party will always like this, or Smash Brothers. Also this like leads marks to the hands. It was hurting at the time, and this was like very torn. Like Nintendo learned in the future for following up consoles from their mistakes with this. This is not bad, but it has its flaws, and it's like always like, this is still okay-ish, but there are controllers when you buy them used, they're like this, you know. Really nice controller. The translucent color of that is also very nice. It came in different shapes and not shapes, in different colors. God damn it, language today. Sorry. This is a memory card which also fits in a slot. So you couldn't use memory card or rumble pack at the same time, so you had to choose. Depends on the game. Some used it, some not. Also, what I left out last time, what I forgot, was this. This is a Super Game Boy, which slots into the cartridge of the Super Nintendo and allows you, when you slot Game Boy games in here, you can play those on the big screen. But moving on forward to this console, to the N64. Comes in different colors, variations. It comes with in the Pokemon theme. There is a Pikachu on here and other stuff. But you have 4 controller ports by default. You still have your on-off switch, and you have a reset button. You have a little case here which can open up, what you normally not really need. Here this looks different when you buy the console, because this is an expansion pack. Later on there were games which came out who required this expansion pack. It's an upgrade memory. I don't know how much. I don't have that in my head. And they did something which I was very sad, as they changed it with follow-up consoles. Here's the big slot in the back. So you normally, when you have a console, you have a big block in the middle of the cable, and that's lying around is annoying. And this time it was like attached here. This is still my console from the childhood, and yeah, well, it works. But I had to change out the power supply because that thing was gone duds. I have to check here. Yeah. The first game I got with this console, because it was a gift from my uncle, and he said, yeah, choose, and there was like a football game with it, like not football, soccer, and I'm like, no, I don't like soccer. I'm one of those guys, one of the men who like, I don't like soccer, I don't like sports. Yeah, I know a lot of people like that stuff, but you can chase me with that. I asked for a console, and like, can we switch the game? The salesman's like, yeah, sure, what do you want? I want Zelda. Zelda Ocarina of Time. One of the best, if not the best Zelda I ever played. There were several follow-ups which were the same level, but same deal as with the Super Nintendo. You slot this in, but this time you don't have an eject button, so you just put that in and use a bit force to get it out, as you hear by the click. Yeah, Ocarina of Time. If you collect retro consoles, if you play retro games and you never played this game, you missed out big time. I mean, Zelda is a lot of people know Zelda. I don't have to explain what that is. It's an action adventure with Link in the main hero role. So yeah, who doesn't know Zelda normally doesn't really know games. So, but this is really well known, and I highly recommend it. So just one this time. There's a Power Rangers game for this console. Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. The season of Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue is really good. The the N64 game is not pretty good. You can play it, but it's more for younger kids, like really young kids. It's not very challenging. It's more of a repetitive, very lame installment. I still have it in my collection. I won't give it away because as I was younger, I liked it a bit. And also it's Power Rangers, so it needs to be in my collection. Moving on. One of the different colored versions of the cartridges, Zelda Majora's Mask. It came out and it was in this like really gold cartridge. I like that a lot, this design. It makes it special. And Majora's Mask is the second Zelda on the console, and it's really awesome. It's an amazing game. It's condensed from the era you actually can visit, but the temples you have in typical Zelda games from the time are a bit less than in Ocarina of Time, but it doesn't play in Hyrule, it plays in Termina. It's a different part of the world. It's an amazing game. The story is nice. It's one of a kind because the moon is trying to crash on the planet, and you have 72 hours in game, which is I think 3 hours real time to stop the moon crashing on the planet. That doesn't mean that your 3 hours the game is done. No, you have a way to resume time, to start over and do it piece by piece by piece, because you keep stuff in your inventory. But this is an awesome game. In Japan there was like the Master Quest from Ocarina of Time, which is I think it came out later on GameCube and stuff, which is a harder version of and mixed up dungeons of Ocarina of Time. And I think there's one that's called Uru Zelda. I'm not sure, but there was stuff which wasn't out in Europe and the US. So moving on to the next one, I had more than one of these games. I think I sold it or gave it away, I'm not sure, but this is one of the Castlevania games. It's actually Castlevania Legacy. Legacy of Darkness. Challenging and fun, and can be mean, but it's a really nice game. I played it a lot as I was younger. At first I just had Ocarina of Time and played it multiple times. I think if I played today I knew it in and out. So yeah, something I bought used because I played it at a friend's house. Blast Corps. I wouldn't play this today. I still have it because I know how valuable some of these are today and won't sell it because it would be sold for under its value and other people would scalp people with that. And also it's of my time, it's something of my past, so I won't give this away. Also, sorry, we're almost 10 minutes in and there are some games coming, so if it gets longer, really sorry with that. Blast Corps is like you have futuristic machines, big trucks, and even a robot which is on the front, and you have to demolish buildings and stuff to actually, if I remember right, which is a real weird story, to stop a truck which has like nuclear rockets or something on that, to actually, if you don't stop it in time and get stuff out of the way, houses and stuff, it explodes and you're screwed basically. Then we had that in the Super Nintendo installment. This is not part 3, but it's a trilogy. It's Mortal Kombat, beat 'em up game. As I said, back in the day I was into these games. You can still change the color of the blood and deactivate it if you want. It's a brawler, typical Mortal Kombat style, if you know that game, so not much to say to. Something which is also very fun, and I still play today in different installments. Okay, I have to slow down and think first and talk next. Sorry, I'm stepping over my own words. I'm tripping over them. Which is Pokemon Stadium. Pokemon is very well known in the world. There are a lot of games from different consoles out there. There's a mobile version, Pokemon Go, so I think I don't have to really explain Pokemon. This is its own like installment. You don't have, like in the Game Boy games, you don't run around and catch Pokemon and fight. You have like several towers and quests where you are in an arena where you have like an overview map where you just fight battles, where you can get eggs and transfer that to your Game Boy games. There's an adapter for a controller where you actually slot in a Game Boy game. You also can play the Game Boy games on the big screen with this on the N64. So yeah, something I really loved as I was back in the day as I was a child. This is a game which is 16 plus for whatever reason. In my eyes, it kind of deserves an 18 plus. Conker's Bad Fur Day. I got that on sale. There was a shop where I was like, I want a new game, got something interesting like this, I can sell it for you cheaper. And it was like 120 and he wanted like 90 or something for it. And I'm like, yeah, take that, it looks fun. It's basically your Conker, a squirrel who drank too much, woke up in the nowhere, just wants to get home. It's a really odd story, funny characters in there. Later on, Rareware, the studio which made this, got sold sadly, and they were working on a second part which never came out. But Microsoft for the Xbox did Conker Live and Reloaded, which is basically an HD remastered version of this, completely just HD remastered. It's the same game but in better graphics, that's all. But the thing is fun as hell, dark humor, so nothing for like easy nerves. Let me see, we have, yeah, let's take this. A really shiny cartridge again in silver and gold, because it resembles the games of the time from the Game Boy game Pokemon Stadium 2. Similar to the first Pokemon Stadium, but with different Pokemon from the gold and silver editions. You could play those on the big screen with an adapter. On this one again, you have like tournament towers where you actually play against other players. And yeah, basically the same like Pokemon Stadium 1, will slightly upgrade graphics for the time, and really fun game as well. If you like Pokemon, you probably like this. And as I said, the cartridge, the back is a bit more grayish, but with like if the cam picks it up, it sparkles a bit. It's better seen on the gold, but it's a really fun game. Something I also enjoyed and played hours and hours, and like what part was very hard to get 100% on that, Lilac Wars, which is basically Star Fox 2, I guess. Or like the predecessor to Star Fox on the Super Nintendo. I never had the Super Nintendo version. I played this first. You fly through space and on planets. You're in a spaceship in an R-Wing, which is called, and your Fox McCloud, known from Nintendo, is of those games in the franchise. And You're basically shooting your way. It's like a rail shooter, if you want to call it like that. I think that's the right term for this, and it's fun as hell. I would recommend that if you're into this. And as I said, it's challenging. There's 1 or 2 missions where you drive a tank instead of a spaceship, or there's even one where you have a submarine. So yeah, bit of variation there. You have planets which you can choose per mission, and in between on the star map you choose your left or right, and that depends on where you go. One thing I got used, never played 100% because I think it was too challenging, or I was young at that point in time. Mystical Ninja 2, if I'm reading that right, yeah, starring Goemon, something I think which is more known in Japan, and came over to the Western market. It's a jump run action thing with platform installments. It's a mix. It's very funny, it's goofy. You run around, you're this guy Goemon, and you have a companion who's a bit more on the chubby side, and you eat rice balls and stuff, which is typical for Japan to actually get health. You collect coins. You want to try to Mario style to save a princess through a huge map. I have to check how far I got, but I think I will never pass through the last levels. And one of these games I highly recommend, and I sold some of the newer versions of that because I have the newest installment, which I regret, and I will get that again in a collection to have it complete, which started it all. Super Smash Bros. For the N64. You had just 8 characters. You had Mario, Samus, Pikachu, Ness from Earthbound. I think there was Luigi in there. Mario and Luigi, I think. Jigglypuff. Just a little roster of like 8 to 10 characters. I think it was just 8 and Nintendo franchise characters. A brawler, which started my love for this franchise, for like not franchise and like this kind of games for like beat 'em ups. I played those before, but this was special. This is different to normal beat 'em ups. Instead of like having a life bar and until it's empty, you have a meter which has percentages. The higher the percentages, the easier you'll get kicked from a platform or out of the screen. So we played this with friends, and this was one of those games which basically killed a lot of controllers. I had to throw out like 2 to 3 controllers back in the day. They were completely jammed, not jammed, completely duds, because we played and we played sorry for wording shit out of the game. We played a lot of that. And I think the last game for today, and for like Super Nintendo in this case, is this. It's Perfect Dark. This is 18 plus, and it deserves 18 plus because it's adult content. You're a super spy. You run around. You're Joanna Dark, and you have to you work for like an agent, like MI6, something like that, and you try to get ahead of a mystery. As I said, you're a special agent. There's aliens involved and stuff. I didn't play it in a while. It has a super cool multiplayer, and it's from RareWare, which is at the time, and I don't play newer games if they even do stuff. I know they belong to Microsoft now, but back in the day, RareWare was that studio that made most of my favorite games, at least for console. And yeah, there was a game before this, which was 007, James Bond, and it's just similar. I think they used the same engine for this game that they used in Bond. There is 1 or 2 levels in here in the multiplayer maps, which come from the 007 game, and this is one of the best multiplayer games on the N64. They also made a predecessor, Perfect Dark Zero, to this. It was like finished for 95%. At the time, Nintendo had already their GameCube out as a console, and they sold Rare to Microsoft, and they basically started from scratch or something like, or converted it. I don't know the total history of it, but we never seen that on the GameCube. But the game is Perfect Dark Zero is available for Xbox, and it's not as good as this one. It looks better, but gameplay wise it's not that much fun. And to be fair, for a not third party, for a first person shooter on a console. The controls for the time were pretty good, because normally if you play a shooter you play that on a computer with mouse and keyboard because it's easier to aim. This one was pretty decent for the time. But that's that. And GameCube is a good what is it? A good idea. Not idea. Fuck. Sorry. Ah, god damn it. My words. Is a good hint for the next video. It's coming, part 3, which will be the Game Boy. God damn it. The GameCube games. I should stop recording now. I'm not good with talking anymore. It was a hard day, but I thought I want to record something actually for the channel. I enjoyed this here, showing this off a lot, but sometimes, as I said, work kills me a bit, and I'm really sorry if I slip up with my words. So thank you for watching. Thank you if you stayed to the end. If you didn't have already, please sub to the channel, ring the bell to don't miss new content, and it helps me out a lot, and it's just 2 clicks, and also it's free. So see you next time. Stay safe. Bye for now.